started. As chairman of the selection committee, I'd like to welcome you to the Cleveland Bradley Old Timers Hall of Fame Banquet. We have some very deserving people to be inducted tonight, and it's a real honor to be able to take these people in and give them some recognition for all the fine hours of enjoyment they furnish us that like to watch them play or whatever. Patty Tinsley is the head of the recreation department for the city of Cleveland, and she makes this ball roll, I'll tell you. And I would be remiss if I did not include her staff. I'd be in the doghouse too. But her staff has worked very hard to make things just right. I want to thank the Old Fort for the food. They do a good job catering, and the food was very good tonight, I thought. Tonight, Mayor Brooks is our MC, and I don't know what position he played on which team. But you know, really, in looking around, I stand in amazement to people that I was at 1986. I was at the Superdome in New Orleans and watched Chris White running up and down the sidelines. That seems like every time Testaverde threw a pass, he intercepted it. And it's such an honor to be able to, Cleveland Bradley County has been very fortunate over the years with all the fine, not just folks, but athletes. We have really had our share and then some. Mayor Brooks, are you ready?
Ready, sir.
Tell you what, let me have the prayer first, and then we'll get started.
Pray for me, too.
Let us pray. Lord, it's me again. Thank you for providing the ability to so many people in this room. We know that you have a sense of humor, and it goes along with what we're trying to do. Again, thank you for all your blessings to us. Watch over our mayor. Amen.
We hear from the chairman, Eddie Cartwright. Serving with him on the induction selection committee is Jill Barrett, Dennis Spots, Avery Johnson, and of course, Director of Parks and Recs extraordinaire Patty Pettit. Can we tell the whole induction committee we're thankful for their work this year? Let's go ahead and begin and give some Hall of Fame recognition. Give honor to whom honor is due. Our first inductee this evening is no stranger to anyone here. And if I could please have the family of Alan Morris Sr. and guests and friends stand. Let's recognize them for supporting their Hall of Fame inductee tonight. Thank you all. Alan was the first wrestler to ever step on the mat for Bradley Central High School, gathering the very first individual win for the Bear program in 1973. He went on to compete for UTC and Chattanooga State before joining the United States Air Force, where he would still be very much involved with wrestling. Alan took over the boys club wrestling program in Cleveland in 1986 and would go on to start the dominant Bradley Wrestling Club in 1989. The Bradley Wrestling Club would go on to be one of the largest and most successful wrestling clubs in the Southeast. Alan's youth programs were instrumental in the success of Bradley, Cleveland, and eventually Walker Valley Wrestling. Some of the best wrestlers to come out of the state of Tennessee have come through his programs. Allen's youth wrestlers have racked up a ton of state championships, including 2, 3, and 4 times champs, and he's sent wrestlers to some of the top D1 NCAA programs in the country, as well as D1 NCAA coach Heath Esslinger. That's why in 2005, when Walker Valley High School decided to start a wrestling program, Allen is who they wanted. During his time as coach at Walker Valley, he produced numerous region sectionals, state medalists, and champions, including a 2013 undefeated state champion, Caleb Langford, and the 2016 TSAA Most Outstanding Wrestler, Joe Munoz. Most recently, in 2022, Allen organized and started Walker Valley's first ever girls wrestling team and has overseen the development of that program. Due to Allen's love and passion for the sport of wrestling, his entire family is involved in the sport as well. His son, Al Morris, was previously the head wrestling coach of Tullahoma High School and currently the athletic director of Cleveland High School. Allen's other son, Andy, is currently one of his assistant coaches at Walker Valley, and they started the Stampede Wrestling Club together. Allen's daughter, Annie, and daughter-in-law, Lauren, married to Andy, are both scorekeepers, managers for him at Walker Valley. And his daughter-in-law, Jenna, married to Al, is currently assistant coach for Cleveland High School's girls wrestling program. Allen's grandchildren are also heavily involved in wrestling, as Maddox wrestles for him at Walker Valley, Destin wrestles at Cleveland Middle, and Kai wrestles for the Higher Calling Wrestling Club. Granddaughters Kimberly and Murphy are both excited to get involved with the Stampede Wrestling Club in the very near future and are currently enjoying cheering on Pawpaw Allen's Mustangs while cheering with the other Walker Valley cheerleaders. Allen has been previously inducted into the Tennessee chapter of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2019, as well as the Greater Chattanooga Area Sports Hall of Fame in 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, our first inductee tonight, Allen Morris, Sr. All right, our next inductee, if we could please have the family and guests of Alfonso Martin please stand. Hall of Famer, congratulations. We salute you, sir. Born June 5th, 1962 to the late Raymond and Roberta Martin, the 12th of 13 children. That deserves an applause right there. 13 in the family. That's amazing. Alfonso first discovered his love for sports in the 2nd grade, first playing basketball, and as the years continued, went on to play basketball, football, and baseball in both middle and high school. Attending Bradley High from 79 to 81, was named Mr. Bradley in 1981. After graduating at the top of his class in Bradley, he went on to attend Seminole State College on a baseball scholarship and attended 2 years and then transferred to the University of Tennessee to finish up his baseball career. Leaving the University of Tennessee, Mr. Martin played 2 years semi-pro for the Peoria Chiefs in Peoria, Illinois, afterwards enlisting into the Navy, where he served honorably for 4 years. After the Navy, he married Robbie Martin and have 3 children, Blake, Brandy, and Jalen Martin. Mr. Martin first started coaching youth baseball, basketball, and football in 1993. And through coaching and his leadership, Mr. Martin touched the lives of thousands of athletes in the Cleveland, Tennessee area, and till this day is still remembered for outstanding athleticism and leadership. He coached youth sports for over 20 years. Mr. Martin was served as a technician at Bowater for 23 years before retiring in 2012. His school record, most baseball walks in a season, 36, and in a career of 91. 21 career home runs, 80 RBIs, 52 stolen bases. And in baseball, SETAC champ, district championship, regional champ, sub-state championship, state AAA runner-up, and boys state delegates sponsored by the American Legion Auxiliary. Mr. Cartwright added that you played at the Boys and Girls Club and made a trip with Mr. Cartwright to play the Gainesville, Florida Boys Club as well. Over this entire career, your baseball program, you batted a .317 with 6 home runs, 43 RBIs, and 71 runs at the University of Tennessee. High school basketball, scoring over 600 points. Ladies and gentlemen, help me congratulate Hall of Famer Alfonso Martin. Our next Hall of Fame inductee, I've been clearly instructed not to say pickleball. Chuck Evans is being awarded tonight. Chuck, could we have you and your family and friends please stand so we can congratulate you? His biography is long, and it says it's difficult to know exactly where to start. His father, Charles Lee Evans, and Chuck was born into a family of 8 brothers and sisters, grew up here in Cleveland, Tennessee, and everyone referred to him as Lee. He enlisted in the Army and was transferred to Portland, Oregon Air Force Base. There he met his mom, and that's where Chuck was born in 1946. He had a very good childhood and always wanted to grow up and play in high school sports. He started with football, but was not successful. He picked up basketball, and that worked out very well for him, and he played basketball in both high school and college. After leaving college, he told his parents he's going to leave Portland, and his dad encouraged him to move to Cleveland, Tennessee, where he would have family around him. He arrived in Cleveland in 1971, and for sure found his home. He wanted to do something to stay in shape, and athletics had been his whole life. He played a bunch of pickup basketball and played in a couple of local leagues, but there had to be something more. As a member of the Downtown Y and the gym, there was a large wood wall against one wall of the gym. As a result, Father Breen from St. Therese and he would play paddleball against that wall almost every day. After some time, he was invited to the Chattanooga Y to play racquetball. And he says at that time the experience humbled him. However, he stuck with it, and in return, it was very good. He entered a few tournaments and won just a few. At the time, John Lee was the director of the Cleveland Y, excuse me, and went to him and said if he could take to the board the opportunity of building courts at the Cleveland Y, mentioned it was a very fast and growing sport. Long story short, it was approved, and 3 courts were built adjoining the gym. The sport took off in Cleveland, and he began teaching people, unknown people like Paul Kahn, Dale Hughes, Woody Radiman, Sam Horner Jr., and the late Eddie Duncan. That started his career in racquetball. He won a few state singles and doubles titles and went to Knoxville and finished second in the region. He was approached by a sponsor or director of Head Rackets, and at the time went on to Sarasota for training. He finished his training and went on the pro tour and thought at that time, I'm the very best and can't lose. Wrong. He did not win a single match the entire first year on tour. No, not one. It sort of reset his attitude and his game, and he started winning. He spent 16 years on the pro tour, 9 full-time, 7 part-time, as the sport did have some decline. During his time on tour, he did manage to achieve 12 national titles, 6 doubles, 3 singles, and 3 mixed doubles. He's most proud of the fact to have been on the national team and played in the Pan American Games in Toronto, Canada. He went overseas and played in China, Greece, London, and Tokyo. As a result, he was inducted into the National Hall of Fame November 10th of 2018. He was very, very proud of his time on tour and dedication to his sponsor of over 30 years, Head Rackets. He and his wife are members of the Wesley Memorial Church. Ladies and gentlemen, Racquetball Hall of Famer, Chuck Evans. Chuck said, thanks for bringing up the no wins. I said, that's what they wrote. I'm the mayor. I read what they write and put in front of me. Now for our next Hall of Fame induction, would the family and friends of Chris White please stand so we can recognize you. Congratulations. By the time Chris White went to Bradley High School, he was already a talented and well-known multi-sport athlete. He golfed, competed in track and field, was a talented basketball player, and thrived under the direction of Coach Louis Alford on the football field. White's talent earned him an All-State honors his senior year in both football and basketball. But that wasn't all. It helped him punch his ticket to Rocky Top. Between 1981 and 1984, Chris redshirted the season, switched position, and played in 24 games. While he contributed to every game he played in, he hadn't found his niche quite yet. In 1985, his fifth and final season, Chris found his niche. In the season opener against UCLA, White made his first career start as defensive back on the Vols secondary as an injury replacement, and by the end of that game, he had cemented his place on the team as a starter. During his storybook senior season, White led the NCAA with interceptions with 9 and recorded 62 tackles and 3 football recoveries. His performance earned him all SEC and All-American honors, as well as helping the Tennessee Vols win the SEC championship and defeat number 2 ranked Miami in the Sugar Bowl, finishing 4th in the country that season. After his time at the Vols, Chris spent a short time in the USFL and was looked at by the Dallas Cowboys and Seattle Seahawks before signing with the Hamilton Tiger Cats to play professionally for a season in Canada. After that season, he moved to Italy to play for the Italian Football Federation. White spent 6 years playing in Italy, getting the opportunity to play with another Bradley County Cleveland great, Dale Jones. Chris White met and married his wife, Ilana, while playing in Italy. Together, they have 3 children, Alex, Lorenzo, and Isabella. Ladies and gentlemen, help me recognize Hall of Famer, Chris White. Yes, would the next family and friends of Kathy Nunley Canup-Key please stand so we can recognize you. Congratulations, Hall of Famer. Kathy began her basketball career at Charleston High School in the 8th grade for Coach Keith Beatty. Her defensive skills stood out and she moved up also to play with Charleston's freshman team. She was a 4-year starter and often had the daunting task of guarding the opposing team's best offensive player. Kathy played for coaches Jim Davis and Mike Turner in high school. During her playing career, her awards included Team MVP, Best Defensive Player for 2 years, Banner All-County Team for 3 years, Sequoia Conference Team for 3 years, All-District Team for 3 years, All-Region Team for 3 years, and All-Tri-State for 1 year. She was voted Pantherette team captain in her senior year, and while at Charleston, the team's record was 82-42. Including those wins were 4th and 2nd place finishes and 2 district championships, and the team finished 2nd in the region and earned a sub-state berth. After graduation, Kathy signed a basketball scholarship to Hiwassee College, where she played for Coach Damon Mitchell and earned an associate's degree in business. During the 90s, Kathy coached girls basketball at Charleston Elementary, where her daughters played. She had several girls moved onto high school and college levels. Currently, Kathy works for the Cleveland City Recreation League with boys and girls basketball. She also has played senior Olympic basketball for the Tennessee Flash team for the past 15 years. Her Flash team has won numerous state championships and has placed 6th, 5th, and 4th respectively in national senior Olympic competition. Kathy would like to give credit to her former Charleston teammates and coaches. They were instrumental in her success as a player and for her love of the game. Kathy retired from Family Medicine Center in 2022 after 43 years of service. She's married to Gene Key and has one daughter and son-in-law, Michelle and Joe Miller, 2 granddaughters, Millie and Ellie, and 2 brothers, Alan and Jeff Nunley. She's a faithful member of Bellefonte Baptist Church, and she considers her Flash teammates as family and treasures their friendship. Let's show her our appreciation for Kathy, Hall of Famer, Kathy Nunley Kanapke. Congratulations, Kathy. Now for our next Hall of Fame inductee with the family and friends of Data Caldwell. Please stand. Congratulations, Hall of Famer. If you're an avid local women's basketball fan, you're probably familiar with Bradley basketball great Data Caldwell. But the truth is that her greatness on the court, even before playing with Jim Smitty and the Barrettes. As a 7th grader at Hopewell, playing for Coach Kenny Phillips, Data was already 6 feet tall and the leading scorer in the county. In her final years at Hopewell, she managed to rack up several high honors, including MVP of the holiday tournament, Best Offense, and Hopewell MVP in 1971. The best of those years came in 1972, when she took home the honor of MVP, Best Offense, and made the Bradley County All-Tournament team. After her time at Hopewell under Coach Phillips, Caldwell went on to play for the legendary coach Jim Smitty, where she continued to excel, being chosen to receive all district honors in 73 through 76 and All-Tournament Region 2 class 74-75 honors, as well as helping her team make it to the state tournament all 4 years of her career. She was honored with the Max Appler Award for being an outstanding Barrett in 1974, and during their 1975 appearance at the state tournament, Caldwell was chosen as MVP. The following year, on her way to the state tournament, she was honored as Region 2 AAA MVP and District 4 AAA Tournament MVP. Following her time at Bradley Central, Caldwell went on to play at Carson Newman, where she won numerous awards, including Eagle Club Female Athlete of the Year, was Carson Newman's first female basketball All-American, named MVP of the Volunteer State Athletic Conference, and was elected to the Carson Newman Basketball Team of the Century. In addition to being inducted to this year's Cleveland Bradley Sports Hall of Fame, Data Caldwell has also been inducted into the Bradley Central Hall of Fame and Carson Newman Hall of Fame. You're just a Hall of Famer everywhere you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Data Caldwell. Our next Hall of Fame inductee is being welcomed by family and friends with the family and friends of Susan Wood. Please stand. We have a special edition tonight. This is actually her jersey, and we are honored to be able to present this and have this during this presentation to be accepted by Susan's daughter, Stephanie. Let's read together about Susan.
Yes, we'll do that right there.
Susan Wood's basketball journey began in the front yard of her Cleveland, Tennessee home. Her beloved father, Thomas Wood, hung a basketball rim on the side of a tree with the trunk serving as a makeshift backboard. In this setting, spending time with her dad, Susan's passion for the game ignited, laying the groundwork for her remarkable success at Cleveland High School. From 1967 to 1971, Susan's prowess in basketball was unmatched. A four-year starter for Coach Jack Kidwell, she set multiple records, including the most points scored in a game as a freshman, junior, and senior, and the most points scored by an individual in a single game. Hailed by the Cleveland Daily Banner as Cleveland's scoring queen, Susan amassed a career record of 2,260 points in all of Bradley County, an achievement that remains unbeaten at Cleveland High School today. Her stellar performance led to numerous awards, including Team MVP and Leading Scorer, along with accolades such as the Chattanooga Times Free Press All Tri-State First Team. Her efforts were crucial in leading CHS to its first district tournament championship. And in 1972, Susan and teammate Linda William Mullins became the first women at CHS to have their jerseys retired, a testament to their extraordinary talent and the role in breaking barriers in a pre-title for area. Susan's journey in basketball continued in college, but a new chapter quickly began when she became a young mother to her son Clay and later to her daughter Stephanie. Her love for the game would evolve into a bond and source of joy and connection for all of them. Susan became an inspiration and a role model, whether she was coaching youth basketball at the Cleveland Community Center or nailing her famous 10-foot hook shot in the family driveway. She naturally mirrored her father's spirit of encouragement and kindness as she whistled and cheered at all of the games, made the long drives to endless basketball camps and AAU practices, and ultimately was the first to support them as they would one day choose paths outside the sport. While Susan left us far too soon, she is remembered today by her infectious sense of humor, quirky joys in collecting antiques, bunnies, ladybugs, farmhouse trinkets, and most importantly, her cherished friendships, both lifelong and new. She found the most peace outdoors, barefoot by the river or creek, laughing and spending time with those she loved the most. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome her daughter, Stephanie Shipp, to receive this award. For our next Hall of Fame inductee, would the family and friends of Gary Trenum please stand so we can congratulate and welcome all of you. Congratulations, Hall of Famer. Gary's been married to his wife, Mary, for 52 years. They have two children, Terry and Gary Jr., four children, Morgan, Caleb, Jordan, and Elania. Gary's been a school teacher, school administrator, coach, worked in banking before going into ministry, and after working many years as an associate pastor, Gary founded Victory Christian Church in Dayton, Ohio, where he served as lead pastor for 23 years. During his time there, he traveled extensively worldwide doing missions work. With a heart for Israel, Gary has been involved many years with Christians United for Israel, the largest pro-Israel organization in the United States, with over 10 million members. He has served CUFI as a congressional liaison as well as city director for both Dayton, Ohio and Chattanooga, Tennessee. Since retiring from ministry, Gary and Mary now work at the Boys and Girls Club of the Ocoee region. He graduated from Madison High School in Middletown, Ohio, has undergraduate degrees from Lee University and a Master's of Ministry from Southwest Bible College, also attended the American Banking Association. Garrett participated in 4 sports in high school: baseball, basketball, football, and track, and he lettered in all 4 sports for 3 years. He still holds multiple athletic records at Madison, scoring 46 points in 1 basketball game and 5 touchdowns in 1 football game while rushing for 236 yards. He has also been inducted into the Madison High School Athletic Hall of Fame. He played basketball at Lee College, now University, from 68 to 72 and was inducted into the Lee Athletic Hall of Fame. He was assistant coach there from 73 to 74. While playing basketball at Lee, he accomplished the following: 1,997 points scored in 110 games, 14.5 points per game average with a 67% shot from the field for his senior season. He grabbed 411 rebounds his senior year, averaging 16.4 per game. Number 5 on the Lee all-time rebounding list at the time of the induction of the Hall of Fame, with 1,196 career rebounds, averaging 11 per game. He served as team captain and voted MVP of the 71-72 Vikings, 2-time All-SCAC team, played on 2 teams, placing 3rd in the NCAA National Tournament, selected to the 2nd team All-Tournament in the NCAA National Tournament in 1969, and a 4-year team record, 92 to 93. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer, Gary Trenner. We are now and would now like to recognize the friends and family of Hall of Famer Joe Spencer. Would you please stand so we can recognize you? Congratulations to your family. As we know, Coach Spencer is not able to be with us tonight, but knew he had been nominated for this award, and his daughter Andrea is going to be accepting the award on his behalf. Joe Spencer. Everybody knows his name, whether it's a current or past student, colleague, schools he's coached against, families, friends. You ask, do you know Joe Spencer? And they all say yes. It all began over 44 years ago. After graduating from Lee College with his bachelor's degree in education, he received his first teaching and coaching position at Birchwood High School. He immediately became a student favorite, so much so that when leaving school one afternoon, his very small car was turned sideways in the parking lot, and each wheel was sitting on concrete blocks. Now, we could have made it a big deal, but he just laughed right along with them, and eventually the boys took it down, and he was able to drive home. From that day on, he was a student favorite. After a short time at Birchwood, he made his move to Bradley County. Michigan Avenue Elementary School was his first stop, and from there, Truett High School, now Lake Forest Middle School, and then Bradley Jr., now Ocoee Middle. He grew up playing sports and was an excellent basketball player. That love of the sport carried over to coaching girls' teams at all the schools where he served. His philosophy in coaching was not only a profession, but a calling to inspire young ladies and men to aspire to a lifetime of character development and achievement. He is quoted as saying, "I consider a team sport to be a building block to guide each life, a tool to inspire and an instrument that gives each player a measurement of themselves to help guide them through life." Coach Spencer, as many called him, excelled along with his teams over the many years of playing together. Birchwood High School, Michigan Avenue, Truett had 560 wins and only 122 losses combined. Bradley Junior High and Ocoee Middle had 440 wins with only 72 losses. He coached at a total of 1,194 games with a record of 1,000 wins, with 194 losses over his lifetime. Did you hear that? With over 37 years of coaching, he only had 194 losses. He never had a losing season. His championships that were won include East Tennessee Chase Champions, Loudon Quarterback Championship, Athens Lions Club Championship, Truett Tournament Championship, 10 Freshman Tournament Championships, 4 James C. Hale AAA Girls State Tournament Champions, 2 James C. Hale AAA Girls State Tournament Runner-Ups, 4 TVAC Championships, 3 TVAC Runner-Ups, and 1 CTAC League Champion. With all these great titles, his character was even greater. He was a man of integrity. His passion for excellence pushed his girls on and off the court. There were many times in practice drills that they thought they would die right there on the foul line. They had complained about this drill and that drill, but much to their surprise, those drills made the difference when game day came. They were prepared for whatever opponent would throw at them. As the girls began to age and became young ladies, they began to realize the preparation that Coach Spencer had instilled in them on the court was preparing them for life outside the gym. For some, a life of hardship and difficult life decisions. Many of his players would come back to Coach for advice in their high school, college, and even adult life. What an impression he made on so many. Joe Spencer loved his family. He loved gathering together at the Rocks, Whitewater Center on the Ocoee. He loved the beach. He loved just hanging out, watching a movie or sports. He married Charlotte Matthew Spencer 38 years ago. He has 4 daughters, Kathy Clark, Jean Sneed, Jessica Gomez, and Andrea Kilgore. He has 7 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. His grandson, Jacob Clark, preceded him in death in January of 2022. He loved running. He loved hunting Bigfoot, and he knew that aliens would beam him up one day to their ship. And he'd come back to tell us about it while drinking one of his famous Chick-fil-A vanilla milkshakes. Along with his love for teaching, basketball, family, and his greatest love was the Lord Jesus Christ. He was an active member of First Presbyterian Church for over 66 years and served in many capacities, including youth director, coordinating this annual Joe Spencer family camp at Camp John Knox, always making sure everyone was in the right spot and everyone had a spot to be in. During his last hospitalization, one of his former players left a message on Facebook that during her time in playing for him, he taught the team the Lord's Prayer, another legacy to leave behind, but yes, the most important one. Coach Joe Spencer passed away February 20th, 2024. He would have loved being here tonight to share in this moment with so many of his friends and family. It's a great honor to acknowledge his achievements, but it's even greater to acknowledge him, the person. May his name carry on. May his players who are now teaching and coaching remember his philosophies and instill them into their players, and may his love for Jesus still spread. May his lifetime achievements never be forgotten, but more importantly, may his love for life live on in all of us. Teaching and coaching are not just careers, they are truly a calling. This was Joe Spencer's calling. Ladies and gentlemen, his daughter, Andrea. Well, we have had Hall of Famers up to this point. And could the family and friends of our next inductee, Kent Smith, please stand so we can acknowledge all of you as a Hall of Famer inductee. We've had jerseys brought over, which we were thrilled to display. We've had family members stand, and now we have one who is asked to give the induction speech. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Lindsay Bell.
My big brother is Kent Smith, and of this I'm so proud and so very lucky. First and foremost, you should all know that while Kent is extroverted, animated, and passionate, he is also extremely averse to any praise whatsoever. It truly makes him uncomfortable. Despite Kent's indelible impact on the lives of so many children, despite his commitment to and drive for student athletes, and despite the numbers backing his irrefutably impressive career, my brother hates commendation. The next 3 minutes will be some of the most uncomfortable of his life, and for that I am sorry. As many of you know, Kent Smith is the third generation of his family to be welcomed into this amazing club. Our father, Gary, and our grandfather, Tip, are members of this brother and sisterhood. What many of you may not know is the degree to which mentoring, service, and education has been born into his blood and burned into his consciousness. My brother is uncomfortable with praise because, as he will say, it is impossible to take credit for something that brought him so much joy. That affliction of humility he also comes by honestly. Permit me to default to the amazing words of my former student, whose name is also Lindsay, when she wrote, "Dinner followed by a local high school sporting event is a normal occurrence in a town like ours." For Kent, it was nights like that, spent with his grandfather, Tip Smith, that sent him down the path to becoming the winningest coach in the history of Bradley Bears basketball. After the passing of his grandfather and graduating from Middle Tennessee State University, Kent came home to Cleveland, where he settled into his calling of education and coaching. Kent taught at Oak Grove and Black Fox before becoming the boys' basketball coach at Truett, where he turned the program around and by his last year led a championship team to a season of 17-0. Clearly predestined, that's when the Bradley job came open. He said, "It really meant a lot to me to follow where my granddad coached all of those years, and where my dad went to school and played ball, and where my Aunt Inez was the assistant principal for 31 years. Smith's tenure saw one Mr. Basketball Award winner, 2 Mr. Basketball nominees, 2 silver balls in the 2000 and 2003 state championships, and some of the best players, professionals, and young adults in Bradley County history. While racking up impressive numbers, where my brother truly exceeded was in the relationships he cultivates and nurtures to this day. Kent understood the difference between being just a coach and the mission of coaching student athletes. The innumerable lives he touched are his legacy. Coach Smith's students have gone on to become doctors, coaches, principals, and lawyers. Among them are skilled tradesmiths, elected officials, community leaders, and pastors. His students are, in many instances, defying generational obstacles, first-time high school, college, and post-secondary graduates who have endeavored to become husbands, fathers, brothers of true personal, professional, and spiritual substance. While the hardware is impressive, Kent's legacy cannot be enclosed in a trophy case, but rather continues to grow in the minds, hearts, and future of our entire community. Rita Pearson said, "Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be." Not only was my brother an example of this for every child he met, but he demanded the same of me when I joined him at Bradley. He set the bar high for every educator who knows him. Dedication, discipline, and desire. My brother has all 3 in spades, and he has walked the walk. It is impossible to know him and remain oblivious to the needs of children. It is impossible to be in his presence for any length of time and exist in a mindset of mediocrity. It is impossible to know him and not learn. Congratulations, big brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer, Coach Ken Smith. Yeah, I know. I love you. See? You can't trust him with anything.
Congratulations, Hall of Famer, and good job, little sister. Our next Hall of Fame inductee, I am told it is a special category, and having known this man for 3 decades, I can say he is indeed very special. Could the friends and family of Mr. Nick Humble please stand so we can recognize you? Congratulations, Hall of Famer. Nick Humble had been out of high school for 4 years and served a hitch in the Army from May '68 to May of '70 when he arrived at Lee College. He played basketball and baseball in high school and played 2 years of semi-pro baseball for Westinghouse in Muncie, Indiana, before going into the service. He played baseball while in the Army for a base team until other duties took him away, and then at Lee tried out for the Lee basketball team. Nick was a 6-foot power forward in a guard's body, so his chances of making the team were slim. He had suffered a couple of leg injuries during those years after high school, and the training and conditioning were difficult, but he hung on through all the shin splints, although they were really giving him problems. When Coach Dale Hughes made the final cut in the fall of 1970, he was still there. He had hung on just to see if he could make the cut. After the final cut, he went to Coach Hughes and explained his legs were just not going to hold up, but he was proud to have made the cut. But he didn't think he should or could continue. He, Coach Hughes, then picked a guy named Wolfman to replace Nick. But Coach had seen something in Nick that he liked, so he asked him to stick around. He even kept his name on the eligibility roster just in case. Nick was delighted to be a part of the team and became a handyman for Coach Hughes, doing whatever needed to be done, just as he assigned it to Nick. He became practice fodder when the team was short of players. He knew the plays so well that Coach Hughes would often tell him not to play the plays, but just to guard his man in the area. Clean up after practice, laundryman, advocate for the players with teachers, a liaison between Coach Hughes and the faculty. He drove players and cheerleaders to and from games, working with some of the players to keep their eligibility in place. He became the unofficial assistant coach, or a student assistant. Lee had 2 votes in the conference, and Nick would accompany Coach Hughes to those meetings and cast his vote. He also assumed the role of sports information director, producing the directory for the basketball team, selling ads to pay for the printing costs, and then became the public address announcer for all the Lee home games, something that continued for the next 10 years. On several occasions, he was asked to do the PA for high school district and region games for Bradley High School. When Coach Hughes was famously ejected from a rival's home court by an obviously biased official, Coach Hughes asked Nick to take the reins of coaching. He also coached a couple of games that would be considered exhibition, since the school they were playing did not meet the qualifications of the conference. During that same period, at Lee College, Nick was a member of Upsilon XE, the Rotaract Club, and a writer on the Clarion, the school newspaper. After graduation in 1974, and with a brief stint with Sears Management, he entered the insurance business. For the next 41 years, that was his vocation, owning 3 brokerages agencies in the selling life, health, pension, annuities, homeowners, auto, stocks, and variable products. He had officers and brokers in Cleveland, Chattanooga, Dayton, Sweetwater, Etowah, and Athens. A 9-time member of the $1 Million Roundtable and perennial recipient of the National Quality Award and National Sales Achievement Award. He was the National Agency of the Year winner and New Agent of the Year for American General Life Insurance Company. He was the recipient of the William E. Turner Award, going to the leading agent in the local or regional area. He was twice an exceptional producer and national field advisor for one of the largest companies in the world for 6 years. During these busy years, he took time to give back, teaching life underwriter classes on personal, estate, and retirement management. Nick served twice as president of the Cleveland Sertoma Club and twice president of the local regional chapter of the National Association of Life Underwriters. As a member of the Bradley County Hospital Foundation throughout its existence, he served United Way as a committee member, a committee chairman, and as a board member. He was on the board of the North Cleveland Towers for 25 years. Throughout all these years, 50 in May of 24, he's been married to Sandy Carpenter Humble, a teacher in the Bradley County system for 30 years, mostly at Charleston. Sister to Hall of Famer Larry Carpenter and great athlete herself. She was a hurdler in high school as well as a basketball player and played church league softball for several years in the Cleveland area. They are the parents of Michael Humble, deceased, who played basketball, baseball, and golf at Charleston High School, and two grandsons, Jackson Humble, a baseball player at Bradley, and Carson Humble, a drama and music student at Walker Valley. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer Nick Humble. Continuing with our special category of special awards for Hall of Famers, with the friends and family of Paul Ramsey. Please stand so we can recognize you. Thank you and congratulations. Paul was born on a dairy farm in eastern Bradley County. I'm told the site of the Cleveland Regional Airport. Welcome home. The son of Clyde and Yolanda Ramsey, his athletic career started at an early age. He played Little League Baseball for 4 years at Fulbright Park for the Giants, coached by the great Bill Talley. He played for the National League All-Star team for 2 years and competed in the Dixie Youth State Tournament. He played Little League football for the Colts for 3 years and was named the All-Star team for 2 years. He continued athletics at Northley Elementary School, playing basketball and football for 3 years in the old Bradley County Elementary League. He also completed in track for 3 years. Baseball continued to be his favorite sport during his teen years, and he played summer league baseball and was named to several local all-star teams. His athletic career continued at Bradley High School, where he played football and baseball for 4 years and basketball for 3 years. His senior year at Bradley Central, he graduated 5th in his class and was on the honor roll every semester of his 4 years. Paul was named to the all-county team in baseball, and he batted .435 his senior year. He was also the winner of the Steve Sloan Award, the Wendell Sullivan Academic Athletic Award, and was selected Mr. Bradley by his classmates. He also represented Bradley Central High School as the Christian Athlete of the Year for the Chattanooga area. Other school activities included National Honor Society, Student Council, Key Club, and served as president his senior year, Boys State Delegate, Bachelor's Club, and the French Club. After high school graduation, he continued his baseball career at Cleveland State Community College. After 1 year, he decided he would focus on his studies so he could pursue a career in education. Earning his associate's degree from Cleveland State, he continued his education at UT Knoxville, graduating in 1979 with a degree in secondary education with a 4-year average of 3.79. Upon graduating from UTK, he began his career as a math teacher at Bradley Junior High, now Ocoee Middle. Bill Chief Robinson, who was also one of his football coaches at Bradley, recruited him to become assistant football coach at Bradley Junior High School, where he coached for 4 years. When Chief was selected as head football coach at Bradley Central, Paul joined him at BCHS and served as the wide receivers and backs coach. During that time, he coached junior high baseball and high school softball. In 1985, Paul Ramsey was appointed assistant principal at Bradley Junior High, where he served with Principal Jim Barger. He continued in that position for 9 years until Barger's retirement in '94, when he was then selected as principal. During his 4 years as a principal, he initiated the process to transition the school to the middle school concept. He was blessed to have a supportive and professional staff to achieve great results in this transition. In 1999, after 18 years in Bradley County Schools, Ramsey made his transition to the Cleveland City Schools, where he was selected as principal of E.L. Ross Elementary School. In 2002, Paul was named Public Relations Director for the Cleveland City Schools and served in that capacity for 3 years. He continued to work at the central offices as supervisor, working in the areas of transportation, maintenance, energy, and until his retirement in 2014. He continued as a part-time energy manager for Cleveland City Schools until retiring in 2019. Since retiring, he's started a new career in real estate with Crylike Realtors and has been a multi-million-dollar producer in each of the last 5 years as the #1 agent in units sold and #2 for sales volume in Crylike, Chattanooga, North Georgia region for 2023. Ramsey's most proud to join his father, Clyde Dick Ramsey, as a member of the Old Timers Hall of Fame. Clyde Ramsey was a 1936 graduate of Bradley Central High School and an all-state football player. He also excelled for the Bear basketball and baseball teams and went on to play Tennessee Wesleyan in Athens, where they won a national junior college championship. After that, his dad played for 1 year at William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia, before going to work in the shipyards of Newport News, Virginia during World War II. While there, he played semi-pro football for the Newport News Shipbuilders of the Old Dixie Semi-Pro League. One of his teammates for the Shipbuilders was George Cafago, a University of Tennessee All-American and #1 pick in the NFL draft in 1940. Paul Ramsey is a follower of Jesus Christ and a longtime member of Wesleyan Memorial Church, where he serves the church council chair. He's incredibly blessed to have wonderful children and grandchildren. They are his daughter, Sarah Beth Ramsey Clayton, her husband, Kyle Clayton, children White and Hayes, and his son, Chase Ramsey, and his wife, Andrea Gilbert Ramsey, and their children, Owen and Griffin. Ladies and gentlemen, help me congratulate Hall of Famer and neighbor, Paul Ramsey. And now to our final inductee, Old Timer of the Year, to the 2024 Sports Old Timers Hall of Fame. Would the friends, family, and beloved customers of Larry McDaniel please stand so we can welcome you and congratulate our Hall of Famer. This is for you, Larry. We appreciate you. Larry McDaniel is known by many as the owner of the town squire, and as a man who is a staunch supporter of our entire community, especially in the area of business, sports, and education. And personally, he's the real mayor of Cleveland. Larry was married 48 years to Linda Mitchell until her untimely passing in August of 2020. The couple has 2 children, Tennille Job, married to Jonathan Job, and Tiffany Inscore. They have 6 grandsons, Tyler and Trey Job, Chandler McDaniel, Cameron and Andrew, and Aiden Inscore. His career in men's retail began at an early age, but he will quickly tell you that his life lessons learned while playing youth sports gave him the character tools needed for a successful life. And he's quick to give credit to people who've coached him along the way in both sports and in business. Larry's success and contributions to his community were recognized in 2021 when he was awarded the Chamber of Commerce M.C. Hedrick Free Enterprise Award, spotlighting his business success, community involvement, and moral high character. It is these same characteristics that qualified him for the honor of induction into tonight's Old Timers Hall of Fame. Here's a little bit about his love of sports and how it shaped his life and his career. Larry McDaniel is a 1971 graduate of Charleston High School, and his memories of early childhood sports date back to Charleston Little League, coached by Clarence Buttrey Sr. He recalls the games were played at Fulbright Park off of Keith Street. At age 12, he played on the Continental League of All-Stars with young men like Toby McKenzie and Buddy Henry. He then played on the Pony League with Coach Bob Beatty. Entering 7th and 8th grade at Charleston Junior High, he played baseball with classmates like Mike Turner, Larry Newport, Alan Nunley, and Mike Gober. 5 8th graders played on the varsity team. A highlight came when Charleston played McMinn Central in district championship, losing 3-2. Just the day before, Charleston had beaten Calhoun High School 5-3 to advance to the championship game against McMinn Central. At the time, all those home games were played on the Bowater Recreational Field. During that time, Larry McDaniel had lettered in 2 years in basketball, but his path in life took a change, turning from sports when at age 14, he began his work with Uncle Bill Ledford, the owner of the Cleveland Men's Shop, in 1967. By 1970, he became a sales manager for Daniel Davis at the Village Esquire, and in 1977 teamed up with businessman Max Carroll to begin the Town Squire. In 2011, Larry took full ownership after the untimely passing of his partner and friend and mentor, Max Carroll. Larry says it was a dream come true opening his own men's retail store in the Stewart Park Plaza, where he has been for over 47 years. He's been a community leader, a founder of the Southern Heritage Bank, a member of the Cleveland Rotary Club, and has served on the Chamber of Commerce Board. In 1996, he was named Small Business Person of the Year. Larry credits much of his success to his late wife, Linda, whom he described as companion, soulmate, best friend, and critic. The two were a devoted team in all aspects of life and business. And learning of the Old Timers Hall of Fame Award, Larry said sports taught him some valuable characteristics for success in life: sportsmanship, determination, hard work, commitment, and teamwork. He says he learned to apply these characteristics through the leadership of his coaches, like Clarence Buttry, Eddie Cartwright, Bob Beatty, Warren Blankenship, and mentors like Barney Newport and Billy Haney. Businessmen like Bill Ledford, Daniel Davis, and Max Carroll are at the forefront of his list of influencers in his life, as are his parents, Hubert and Betty McDaniel, who led, supported, and inspired him. Larry is a member of the First Baptist Church and attributes all things to God, family, friends, customers, and teammates over the years. In receiving this award, Larry said, "I'm very thankful for this honor, but I give God the glory for every opportunity he has sent my way. And I thank God for giving me health and strength to stay the course of life all these years, and for all my customers and friends whom God has sent my way. I feel truly blessed." Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer inductee, Old Timer of the Year, Larry McDaniel. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It is always an honor to be with you, and I'm honored that you would ask the least athletic person in the city to be with you this evening. My mother is so proud. Help me welcome back our chairman, Mr. Eddie Cartwright.
Just a little bit of housekeeping and we'll dismiss. 2 hours is not too bad. We've had a lot longer session than this a time or two. Isn't this a great venue to have this? We've never had the boards and be able to sort of showcase the people that are coming in until this year. And we have a lady named Shamika Jones who made this arrangement, sitting right over here. She really went to bat for us. And we hope to maintain this relationship. The price wasn't bad either. Old Fort, catering, Scott standing over here with his room. If you want good biscuits and gravy, they've got it. Anything else? As we dismiss, if the inductees will gather right over here, we need a picture for the local newspaper. Good evening.